Meals on Wheels are not just here in Washington County, but all over the state of Arkansas, and it's just fundamental to us providing a good quality of life for so many of our seniors who need it. And you all know about Meals on Wheels better than anybody. There are a lot of Arkansans who need that. They're either shut in or for income reasons or whatever. They need someone to deliver those Meals on Wheels whenever they can. And one of the things that we have to acknowledge in Arkansas is when you look at our senior population in this state, most people who hit age 65 do not have a pension. They do not have a big 401k. Most people don't even own their own homes. So something like Meals on Wheels is so critical for people. Something like protecting Medicare and Social Security is so important for people in our state, probably more in our state than in most states, but it's just critically important. I just want to talk for 1 minute on Meals on Wheels, though. The National Foundation to End Senior Hunger, unfortunately, has ranked Arkansas as #1 out of the 50 states for seniors who do go hungry. And that's not a good designation. We're trying to change that. We're trying to make that, but it has to do with our demographics. It has to do with a lot of different things. Some of the rural parts of our state are hard to serve, but Meals on Wheels is so incredibly important. Right now, we have over 525,000 people that are on Medicare and Social Security here in Arkansas, and again, a lot of those receive Meals on Wheels. And unfortunately, when they do the national study, one of the things they see is that the problem nationwide is actually getting worse, not better. So when you see something like that, you have to ask yourself, why in the world is Congress not doing more to support this and expand this and make this more a part of the safety net to help our seniors? That's a good question, but you really have to ask why in the world my opponent, Tom Cotton, voted to eliminate the Meals on Wheels program. He voted to eliminate it. He voted to cut it as part of the Republican, what they call study committee budget in the House. He was the only member. We have 4 Republicans in our House delegation. He was the only member to do this. So the other 3 disagreed with him, and they voted to save Meals on Wheels. But that just demonstrates that he is out of touch with Arkansas. He doesn't listen. When he does come home, which may not be very often, by the way, but when he does come home, he doesn't listen to people. He's not in tune. He's not in touch with the needs of our state. He's also the only member of our delegation to vote to increase the age of both programs, both Social Security and Medicare, to increase the age to 70. That would be devastating on our seniors. Also with Medicare, what he wants to do is he wants to turn it into a voucher program. He wants to turn Medicare over to the insurance companies, and all that does is shift costs to people who can least afford to pay it. This is a huge quality of life issue for so many seniors in Arkansas. It's such an important issue for American seniors, but what my opponent, Congressman Tom Cotton, has done since he's been in the House, these, whatever it is, 18 months now, he has voted to cut Medicare and Social Security time and time again. He wants to fundamentally change the nature of Medicare and Social Security. And like I said, what that does is that translates to more out-of-pocket expenses for seniors. And you all know that the price of gasoline is not standing still, the price of food is not standing still, the price of drugs is not standing still, the price of housing, all your costs of living, those things are going up, not down. So why in the world do we want to cut off our seniors? One last point on Medicare, though, I think that's an important one. Medicare is a program that people pay into their entire working life. All of their working lives, they pay into Medicare with the promise that it will be there when they hit that age of 65. So I never thought I'd have to do this. But one of the things I've done in the last several weeks in Washington is I've actually filed a bill called the Medicare Protection Act. We tried to get it up on the Senate floor about 10 days ago. It ran into some procedural hurdles, as you can imagine. We're going to try to do it again soon. But the Medicare Protection Act is designed to do exactly what Tom Cotton doesn't want us to do, and that is It is designed to make it much, much harder to privatize Medicare. And we can't absolutely promise that we'll never do this, because under the rules of the House and Senate, of course, if you can get a majority vote and all that stuff, you can change the rules, all that stuff. But what this does is it makes it much, much harder under the Budget Act to change the age to 70 and to otherwise privatize Medicare. So this is something, again, I thought I would never have to do. I really thought that this talk about changing Medicare was just that. I thought it was talk. But when I look at what the House has done, time and time again, when they vote to privatize Medicare, when they vote to turn it into a voucher system, to raise the age, to fundamentally alter the program, I thought, look, somebody's got to file a bill to really protect Medicare and make it count. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'll continue to work on. With that, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Senator, there was a press release this morning concerning comments that Mr. Cotton has made concerning your religious beliefs or backgrounds. Would you care to address that issue? Tell us a little bit about what happened and how you see it.
Yeah, I will address that. I'm disappointed in Congressman Cotton's comments about my faith, questioning my faith. To compound this, he's questioned my faith, which is deeply personal to me, and I feel that it's a personal attack on me, and I feel that very deeply, and I'm sorry he's taken his campaign that direction, but he has. And to compound things, now what he's done is he's making up things about my record. And he says, for example, that I've voted for federal funding for abortion, which is not true. He says I support late-term abortion, which is not true. In fact, I voted to ban partial birth abortion and late-term abortion. So when the facts don't suit his case, he just makes it up. And I'm very disappointed in him and his candidacy for doing this, but this is the route he's chosen to go. And like I said, instead of apologizing or setting the record straight, he's really doubled down, and he's compounded the problem by just making stuff up about my record. And all I can say is I'm disappointed. I really regret the fact that he's taken his campaign this direction, but all I can do is run the kind of race I want to run and make my case for the people of Arkansas. I feel very, very good about my candidacy. I'm traveling the state all the time, be it the big parade later today, be it 4th of July parades and picnics all day on Friday, and I love traveling the state, and I think I really get good feedback wherever I go, because people around here know that I love Arkansas, I care about Arkansas, I believe in Arkansas. I know that we can get so many great things done together, and I want to do it in the Arkansas way, where we all do work together and we find that common ground and get it done.
I had another question,
yes, sir.
if that's okay, Senator. Shifting gears now and looking at both at the state level here, we're seeing increases in tuition for our institutions of higher learning. Can you talk a little bit about that, and then talk about what is or what could be done both on a state level and a national level?
Well, the Congress can't do a whole lot about college rates in terms of how much they charge per credit hour, room and board, things like that. Congress can't do a whole lot about that. That really is a matter for the states and for the various institutions. But one of the things that I recognize is if we want to move Arkansas forward, one of the best things we can do is make it to where more and more Arkansans go to college. And the biggest barrier for Arkansans to go to college is the financial barrier. And so that's why I've supported things like Pell Grants. My opponent has voted to cut some of those. I voted to cut the interest rate for student loans in half. My opponents voted to eliminate that program, even though he took those very same student loans to go to college to get himself educated. He voted against that to try to deny that to other people. So I believe strongly that we need to focus on education. We need to do things like support Head Start, support TRIO, support early education, support our public schools, support our teachers, things like that, to make sure that America has first-class education. And then when they graduate, we need to work on our graduation rate in Arkansas, and Governor Beebe has been really on this, and he's working on it, but to increase our graduation rate and then increase access to college. The biggest challenge people have to college, as part of your question, the biggest challenge is the financial challenge. And again, we can't always do anything about the cost of tuition or room and board and that cost, but we can try to come up with ways to make college more affordable.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Pardon me for anticipating what your opponent's going to say, but he's going to say that he's not for raising the eligibility age for anybody who's actually on it.
Yeah.
He's going to say it's because in the future, and that frankly it's necessary to protect the system, to do that for the solvency of the system and the people who are on it. So.
Y'all want to throw stones at him right now?
No, don't throw it at me. I'm just repeating what I'm going to say. We've been down this road before, so let's go around the circle of the roundabout again. Okay?
No, I'm just teasing him. But well, there's a very stark contrast between my opponent and me when it comes to Medicare. I want to keep the age at 65. I don't want to see it go up to 70. He has voted. He's voted to change it to 70. And what he tries to say is, well, this is for people who are maybe age 55 now, it would be 70. Well, that's unfair. You can't tell someone 10 years out, you got to change your entire financial plan because of some agenda item I want to check off. No. We need to protect Medicare. You have to remember the reason we have Medicare in the first place is that insurance companies don't want to insure people that are 65 and older. They don't want to. And Medicare is a proven program that works. And again, my opponent and I have very sharp contrast on this. He even has a sharp contrast with other members of the House delegation, all Republicans, is that they voted against some of these cuts, where he's voted for these cuts. So I think it's bad for Arkansas that we do this. I think that even if someone is, say, 55 today, they should be able to count, or younger, they should be able to count on Medicare being there, because here again, what you're trying to do is he is trying to shift the cost from the Medicare system on the seniors. And that's going to greatly harm our seniors, whether they're seniors today or they'll be seniors in a few years. That is greatly going to harm our seniors. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here. Good to see everybody.